Hello, welcome to OpenNEX tutorials. Today we are going to launch a basic Amazon Web Services EC2 instance and save that instance as an Amazon machine image or an AMI. AMI provides the necessary information required to launch an instance, which in our case is a virtual server in the cloud. You can launch multiple instances from a single AMI. There are tons of public AMIs available at the AWS Marketplace. To learn more, visit the AWS Marketplace website. To know what an AMI is, please visit the AWS documentation page for AMI. To create your own identity and access management profiles for other users under your own identity, please visit the IAM page. I would first like to log in to my identity page, which I've created and provided access to other users under my identity. In our case, this is NEX next user, and we sign in to the AWS sign-in console. I have a username set already, next user 1. I'm going to put in the password and sign in using the secure server. Let us go to EC2 . This is the EC2 management portfolio. If you click on instances, you can see that I already have an instance running here. This is the page where you'd like to launch a new instance. Now, in today's tutorial, we will assume that a user has already created an AWS profile or has access to the AWS Management Console. In the future steps, which I'm going to show today, we will launch a basic Ubuntu 64-bit long-term storage Linux instance, log in via SSH to the created instance using one of our Amazon key pairs, and install some basic packages using apt-get. We'll also create a public AMI which others can use for customization and/or for launching multiple instances. So let's get started. Let's create the Launch Instance button. Here, we would like to choose the Ubuntu Server 12.04.3 LTS. Please remember that this server is right now available as a free tier eligible. Also make sure to choose your region. We are going to select a 64-bit machine image. This is one of the micro instances which are available as a free tier. We would like to go ahead and configure the instance details. In our case, we would like to keep this as default. Let us add storage. The default storage here is 8 GB under the root volume. Let us keep this for now. Let's tag our instance. Let's name this AMI test. And let's give a value NEX AMI. Security groups are essential for connecting to your public TNS. In our case, we can provide SSH access or could even provide an HTTP or HTTPS access. For that, I could choose a profile which I've already created before. This actually provides SSH, HTTP and HTTPS access to our public TNS address. Let's review and launch. Let us click the launch button here. Connecting to an SSH instance always requires your private key. I assume that you have already created your private key. In our case, I will already use one of my created private keys. Let's use NES user 1 creds. And then hit Launch Instances. Your instance may take some time to load up. Click on View Instances. You can see that our new instance has a pending status. This will probably take approximately 10 to 20 seconds to load up and show a running state. Let us refresh the button here. Our new instance is already running. If you click here, you could actually see the details for our public DNS. Let us copy this public DNS address. We are now ready to launch a shell instance with this public DNS address. Let us trigger a shell prompt in any of your preferred terminal windows. In this case, I'm using a Mac, so I'm going to use terminal, and I have a directory where I have stored my private key. So if you hit list, I already have my NEX user1_creds.pem file, which I downloaded from my access credentials. To SSH into our DNS address, we have to type something like NEX user, and in this case it's Ubuntu server, so the default username is Ubuntu at the public DNS address which you just copied. Hit enter. Yes. You're right now logged in to your created instance. To install any package or run any other programs or softwares and dependencies, it's always better to become the root. Let's do that by sudo -i. I now have a root access. I could just simply do an apt-get update to update my repositories. This will take a few seconds. Now that it's done, you can actually go ahead and install other packages for your desired AMI. Let's assume that you have already installed your packages and your softwares, and you have been running some codes in this instance. Once you do that, let's log out from the server and let's go back to our AWS console. Now, to create a public AMI, all you have to do is right click here, or you could even go to the actions button here and then click on create image. Let us give an image name. Let us call this AMI test. Image description, let us write something like test AMI for NEX. Again, this has a default root volume attached to it of 8 GB. Let's keep this as default and hit on create image. You have a unique AMI ID for each image you create, and this will be the unique identifier by which others can actually use this to customize and or launch multiple instances. Let's now go back to the console and click on AMIs. You will now see that your current AMI is under a pending status. This may take a while to load up and become available. It looks like our new AMI status is now available. Let us click on this and go to the permissions tag. This image is currently private. Let us make this public. Hit to see whether it's still in the public permissions tag. Yes, it is. You are all set to use the new AMI. You can distribute this AMI ID to any other user, and he can use this AMI ID to launch multiple instances. Thank you for watching this tutorial.